What's up? We are back with the next episode of Trigger Warning. I'm Kim Osorio.
Hi guys, I'm TT. Happy to be back.
Very happy to be back. It feels like a long time since we've been here, but we actually were with each other the other day. Hello.
Yeah, we were. We were at Fat Man Scoop's funeral.
Yeah,
we were together on a sad occasion, but
yes,
we were together.
And that's crazy because we need to get together more just when we're not here. But I know our lives are so busy and we're always trying to catch up. So please don't let it be a funeral service or memorial service when we actually get together the next time, because
I know. It's crazy because I think people forget, like, you know, we're in this game, you know, we're like always working and in the public's eye and all of that. But I think sometimes people forget that we're still moms, and me, a mom and a wife. So it's like every bit of my life feels like it's gotta be scheduled out, like on my calendar, like, you know what I mean? Because I'm not just like, you know, on a talent on air or on podcasting, but I'm also an executive too.
Yes.
So it's like my life literally
talk your shit.
No,
she said, and I'm also an executive. Talk your shit.
No, but I'm saying that my life is like so
it's full.
And I was just saying to my husband the other day that I need to find something that is just me. So I was gonna take up like pickleball or something like that, and then I fucked up my shoulder.
They say
working out.
One of my very good friends, hello, Tia, she plays pickleball.
She loves it.
She loves it, but I'm always clowning her.
Why?
I'm always clowning her. It's like such a weird sport. Where did it come from? It's like this easy little fake tennis.
But it's not.
It's fake tennis.
But it's not that easy. So I took it while I was on a vacation this summer. I took some lessons, and it's really like, you know, you got to get to the ball and whatnot.
I know, but why not just play tennis? I'm just trying for all you pickleballers out there. Why not just get some tennis rackets?
Because it's less stress on the body.
Right. So that's why they were saying it's kind of like for old people.
Well,
come on, Titi.
My body feels old.
No, it don't. You could do some tennis. And by the way,
girl, first of all,
I love tennis, and I was doing it a couple years ago. We should do tennis.
No, I can't. So my right knee is bummed, and now I have a shoulder injury, so I can't even play pickleball because now I have a fucked up shoulder.
No, I think you do pickleball with a messed up shoulder.
No, I can't even swing.
It's not
I had to get a
Pickleball's like boop.
No, you have to swing that.
It'd be like 90-year-olds doing pickleball, like
I rotated. I had to get an injection in my shoulder because I rotated the cuff. You know, because so long story short, they were like, stop running. All those years of pounding on your knees is not good.
Right.
So I literally, they were like, you know, start doing more weight. So I was like, all right.
Right.
So I started heavy weight training and whatnot. Then now my shoulder's fucked up. So now I got to go to physical therapy, and I have to get a cortisone shot in my shoulder for the pain. I'm like, yo, what happens? After 35, your body just starts...
Your body starts changing. And
breaking down.
Well, I mean, I don't want to make this somber because we're joking about pickleball and our body and our ailing knees or whatever it is. But after going to Scoop's memorial service and, you know, just, you know, this somber tone in the room of everyone... You know, rest in peace to Fat Man Scoop. Let me just say that first, right? But when it happened, I was immediate. It's like sometimes I get angry because I'm like, are we taking care of ourselves, right, at this age? And even though I don't know the cause of death, I'm hearing a lot of things. I'm hearing things like, oh, he had an energy drink before. You know, and I don't know what the cause. I don't know if you know what the cause of death.
I don't know what the cause of death is, and I don't want to assume.
Yeah, I don't want to assume,
for the family, but I will say this to piggyback off what you said. We've lost K Slay,
right?
Mr. C,
right?
Now Fat Man Scoop.
Mm-hmm. I just lost a friend. Let me just say,
years.
Yesterday I lost a friend. He wasn't in the industry, but a lot of people around my way knew him. His name was Warren from Leland. So I just want to say rest in peace to Warren, and, you know, give a shout out to all of my friends from the Bronx that we were out there last night on his old block. And, you know, he, in my eyes, you're young at 54.
Yeah.
But we're not as young as we used to be, right?
Yeah, and just for me, like, you know, I was the generation after you guys, and I really looked up to the paths that you guys created for us to walk into. And, you know, all three of those guys I just mentioned were really solid people, man. And I think for me, just being at Scoop's funeral, it's like, I just thought about the legends, and I thought about, like, are we taking care of ourselves? Are we taking care of our legends? Are we making sure they have the proper health care? You know, especially when
This is
the
the conversation.
careers start to phase out a little bit.
Yes,
They're not
yes,
doing as
yes,
many shows.
yes.
They're not getting as much money. They still have these expensive lifestyles. Are we setting them up to be able to have the proper care once the curtains are closed? You know, once they slow down some. And, you know, all of these guys that I mentioned, Scoop, Slay, C, they were all in their 50s, early
Right.
50s,
Right.
you know, early to late 50s. And like I said, just, you know, the generation behind them, just, I idolized those guys, you know. And I had just seen Fat Man Scoop at Mr. C's funeral, and I remember saying to him, oh my God, you look so good. You look so good. And he smelled so good. He gave me a big hug, and he smelled so good. He always smelled good. Like, and I just remember, I mean, I was like, damn, he looks good. Like, I said that to him in that moment, not knowing that a few months later he would have passed.
Well,
know?
that's the conversation that I do want to have. I think everyone knows, you know, that we have so much respect for him and his family, and hopefully, you know, they'll be healing from this. Obviously, it just happened, so it's still kind of a touchy subject. But when I saw the video on TMZ, you know, obviously I was praying for him, knowing Scoop, just being like, oh my God, what's wrong? But I was angry. I was angry because I'm like, we're not taking care of ourselves. And I say that, and I don't know what happened, and I don't want to speculate. But I'll give you a better example. I went to a Big Daddy Kane show a couple of weeks ago. Phenomenal. And I actually commented after the show on how well he put on the show, but how I could tell he was managing his health while he was on stage. And I'll give you an example, right? He would do a song, and if you know Kane, you know that those records, you're going, like, he's going fast, and it's a high energy on stage, right? He would do a song, then he would stop, then he would walk through it was at City Winery. Then he would walk through the audience. Then he would talk to the audience. Then he would do, you know, like, you could see that in between each song, there were breaks, right? And listen, I'm guessing, but I'm thinking he knows I can't get up here and perform raw, set it off. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of these different songs,
he knows that
back to back to back to back to back.
Right. Obviously,
So,
you know, and Kane used to put on a performance back in the day where he would dance a lot too. Splits,
right.
jumps,
he didn't,
all that
and
stuff.
he didn't do as much like that, but I didn't expect him to. But he filled that time, right, with talking to the band, introing the band, having every member of the band do their thing. And I just thought it was just so well put together as a show for Big Daddy Kane fans, right? Like, for people, you know, in the audience who I know, you know, I don't think everybody in the audience was 50 plus, but it was kind of like a thing that was said at the top of the show, like, oh, it's 50 and over or whatever. But it, you know, I watched it, and I also could see that he was pacing himself, is my point. He was pacing himself throughout that show, knowing he had to be up there for an hour or whatever. And I watch a lot of our artists who, I don't know how often they tour, but at this age, they're up on stage and they're just, maybe it's too much adrenaline going, right? And it's like, I don't really know what happened. I don't want to speculate, but I was angry at how it went down. I was like, you know, are there signs that we see right? People around you, like, are we, I don't know what happened, but it just felt like such an unfortunate situation. I don't know if there were pre-existing conditions. But I always look at things like, how can we be better at preventative care?
I think it all boils down to self-love. Making sure that you're getting your blood work done regularly, making sure that you're going to see your healthcare professional on a daily basis, and you're partnering with them. My mom, she's 65 years old, and me and her have these conversations all the time about how important it is for her to take care of herself, because I'm going through a lot with her now, just taking her to doctor's appointments and different things of that nature. And a lot of what she's going through could have been prevented if she would have just taken better care of herself. And I think, her generation, and she said this to me, they were afraid of doctors. They didn't want to go to the doctors, and they didn't have the proper health care and the things that they needed to be able to just get annual checkups and stuff like that. And so she's learning now in her big old 60s how important it is to partner with your doctor, and she's the blueprint of like what I don't want to be, right? And she's also kind of like, if I don't properly take care of myself, these are the conditions that I can have. Right. You know what I mean? So I think it's about self-care, self-love, and getting your checkups and partnering with your doctors and doing all the necessary things it takes to make sure you live a good, healthy life. And also, we live a lifestyle that is very stressful. Being an entertainer and a rapper and in this industry is a very stressful industry. So you have to not only take care of yourself in the physical, but also in the mental. Mental health is just as important as physical health. So making sure you see, a therapist if you're dealing with stress and anxiety, and getting treatment for that, or meditation, or something to release that anxiety, or the pressures of what this business could be. And think of our soldiers who passed away. They were in the business for as long as I could remember. Right. And I've been in the business 20 plus years. You've been in the business 20 plus years as well. And they were young, they were teenagers when they got into the business. So think about the level of stress that, and stress causes trauma on the body. That's a proven fact. Yeah. Stress ages you. Stress causes all kinds of diseases. Right. So I say again, taking care of your mental health is just as important as taking care of your physical health.
Absolutely. I agree. And it is a very stressful industry. And I think, especially because a lot of people are here losing jobs and losing money right now. And I'm watching people in all age groups, right? But, of course, I'm going to talk about my age group, trying to figure it out at this stage, trying to switch careers because they're, just not getting the work that they used to do. Even when you think about, people getting booked for shows, like the lifespan of the careers of performers, entertainers, like you see how quickly things are just getting turned around, right? The turnover is crazy right now. Yeah. People at labels losing their jobs, right? There are no more labels. Like, there are, but
I know what you're saying.
My point. It's
a shrinking industry. It's day by day. It is becoming such a small industry, which I think it will go back to having more independent labels, which I like the idea of that resurgence. But that's why it's important to not put all your eggs in one basket. Right. That's why it's important to diversify your portfolio. And it's also as equally important to have financial literacy. To set yourself up for the days when there is a drought, because there always will be a drought. None of us own these companies that they work for. I work for High 97. Right. I've been there, 10 years. Jesus, I just hit the 10-year anniversary.
Oh, happy 10-year anniversary to TT.
for 10 years. But I say that to say I don't own it.
Right.
So when they're ready to, you know, fire me or let me go, whatever decisions that they want to make, they are rightfully able to do that because I don't own it.
Yeah.
So that's
what
I work for them. So that's why, you know, I have so many other things
Mm-hmm.
going on outside of my 9 to 5 because I always understood the importance of diversifying your portfolio
Mm-hmm.
and having multiple streams of income.
Right.
You know, this is my bread and butter. I'm going to do my job and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability and I'm going to give my time into that job. But at the same time, I'm going to reinvest my resources into myself and my other businesses because I want to make sure when I do step away that I have other things working for myself.
Hey, listen, I mean, I haven't had a job like where I worked for a company. I don't know, it's definitely been over 10 years where I've just worked for myself. And that means I loan my services out as a loan out to, like, under my company to different companies. So I am contracted to work, basically. So I'm contracted. You might see like, oh, I thought you worked at BT. No, I'm contracted by them. I'm contracted by E1. I'm contracted by, you know, Big Fish whenever I'm, you know, at these different companies. People see me there and they think that I work there. No, I really, so there's no guarantee, right? There's no security. There's no like, you're staying here. It's usually like you're going to be there for 9 months, 6 months, you know, the longest, you know, depending on the show and the run of the show. Maybe there's like a big episode order, then I'm there for a year. But most of the time, I would say in the last 5 years, maybe 4 years, it's been 3 to 4 months. Like, because the length of the episodes is getting shorter now. Because whereas where we used to have like, oh, this show has 14 episodes, this show has, you know, 12 episodes. Now we're like, this show has 8 episodes. They're getting shorter and shorter. And that, I think, has a lot to do with streaming and the fact that the networks, most of the networks that I've worked with, are trying to figure it out. If you pay attention to production and TV, there's a lot less jobs right now. So it's really about creating your own, building your own brand, building your own resume of credits, at least with what I do, right? For yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's really like, no, you know, like even all the projects I've done with VH1 and people, I think when you're not in the business, if you see my work, you're like, oh, no, she works at VH1. No, my show airs on VH1. I don't work there. I work with network execs there. You know what I mean? People don't understand how it works. But it's really hard when you're, sometimes I'm like, I'm about to go get me a government job.
By the way, there's nothing wrong with that.
Job.
By the way, it's nothing wrong with that.
There's security, and for long term, you know, I've seen a lot of people do things like that later on in life, and I understand it now as I start to learn about, you know, just the benefits and, you know, the things that you get when you work for the city or for the it's set up differently.
I was just but for us,
it ain't set up for us, and that's why people are working towards that, right? And I'm not just talking about what I do in television, right? Like, look at the artists, look at the entertainers. Like, what do they do? Once you get to be 55, 60 years old, like, you got to figure it out. I don't know how long you're going to be able to tour or do the things that you do as an artist, make music, right? Who's setting that up? I think, wasn't Nas doing something like that?
I don't know.
I think he is. I think he's working on this sort of like plan, and I think it makes sense, right? Because we've seen so many of the pioneers in hip hop really doing bad, right? Maybe the bigger ones that you know of, you're like, oh, this person is doing great because they're like icons. But think of everybody that paved the way in hip hop and laid the foundation, right? Like, where are these people right now? What are they doing? There were people working on my set that I grew up on their music, working on my set, like doing PA jobs and trying to figure it out.
We saw Mark Curry, Puff's old artist who wrote the book, working as a ticket agent at UBS Arena during the VMAs.
Right.
You know,
exactly right.
At the end of the day, nothing is embarrassing about
you gotta
get legal
yours.
money. You know what I mean? And nothing is embarrassing when you do something legal in an effort to take care of your family.
Right.
You know, I was having this conversation with my little brother and my nephew. You know, they all want to get in, you know, podcasting and this and that. And I'm just like, that's great. But, you know, there's a level of consistency to this.
Yeah.
And they look at me as the blueprint. And I'm like, but I've been in it for 20 years. There's no such thing as an overnight success. If you really want to do this, you know,
you got to put the work in. You got to put the work in.
But, you know, over time, they kind of fell off of it. And I'm like, you know, you've had this dream about becoming a police officer. You had this dream of becoming this. Like, there is nothing wrong with doing that.
Right.
You don't have to be an influencer to make money. Like, you don't have to just... I think sometimes, you know... I think sometimes social media makes people feel like it's unacceptable to do what you call a quote-unquote regular job, like being a plumber.
Right.
Right? I know someone that's a plumber that's a multi-millionaire and own their own company.
Girl, you know I just
because when
I just changed the sinks, the faucets. Did I tell you this?
No.
I personally changed the faucets in my kitchen and in my bathroom. And you know why? Because it's going to cost me $750 if I call the plumber to do it. So I figured it out. There was one other thing that happened in my bathroom, and I couldn't YouTube it, and I called the plumber. And when he got there, we had a very good conversation. And I joked around. I told him I just changed the faucet, so don't try to overcharge me. And he said, oh, you did? He said, we hiring. He said, our business is never, like, going anywhere. If you have a license, a master plumber's license, you good. There's always a job.
But I
in
say
that
that
field.
To say it's like there's nothing wrong with those jobs. It's
you think
like,
people think that there's something wrong with them?
I think.
Well, I think there's
social
people,
media has played a part, and these younger kids that I have spoken to feeling like they can't be regular.
Well, I think it's going back now. I think people are starting to figure out, hey, that's cool, and that's the cool job, and if I want to do this and that, but if I want to make real money, I need to get a skill, get a trade, right, and have that on the side. I think that's the best way to do it, because now you'll never be out of work, right? Like if you go get your HVAC license or certification. Right now in my house, my air conditioning, something's wrong with it. The last time something was wrong with it, I almost died. It cost me $7,000. And I was like, I wish that I knew someone who had their HVAC certification or whatever so I could get the homie discount. I don't know anyone.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone.
When my house in Connecticut to fix the HVAC, I think that was like $10,000.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you have that certification, you good. Because someone's AC is always going out. Someone's faucet always has to be repaired, right? Like, and I don't have. I'm getting new friends because nobody in this industry can't do nothing at my house for me right now. Like,
but I think the country. I don't know.
I need a handyman.
I feel like we're in a weird place.
Let me say this. I need a handyman.
You need a maintenance man?
In my life. I don't want your fingernails to be dirty, so you're going to have to balance it better, right? Like, you do what you do, but you know how to do it in a way where when you come off of that job, I'll never know. You don't stink. Like, I don't know what you got to do. I need a handyman. The issues I have in my house.
You need a handyman or a maintenance man?
A handy maintenance man.
Oh.
I need a handy maintenance man friend to help me. Y'all laughing, and I say y'all because there's other people in the room trying to be quiet, but I am so serious It's always a problem in my house, and I have to do it myself. I'm like cutting the grass. You know what I'm saying? I got poison ivy last year all up my arm because I can't find a landscaper at a low cost, because people. That's what I'm saying. These are the jobs that are overcharging
Because they're high demand and not enough workers.
And you know what? I've been choosing the wrong men. I have. Because why no one wants to help me in my house?
You choosing the wrong man, or you just crazy as hell?
Why do you think I'm crazy?
I'm just asking.
I'm saying, what am I doing wrong? Like, fix this sink. Like, where are those men? Where are those men? Or if or call somebody that you can call. Do you know what I mean? Fix this sink.
I will tell you.
Fix this sink, yo.
My husband's a good maintenance man.
He is?
But he is not a good handyman, child.
He's not?
Hell no.
See, because I'm good. I'm handy. So you got to be better than me.
Two unhandy people in the house, okay?
What can he fix in the house?
My husband will call somebody and pay for it.
And that's fine, too. If you're going to have, like, if you're...
I'm just trying to think what he fixed.
But times are hard right now.
But he is not...
Let me find out.
He is not. I mean, he cuts some hedges every now and
again.
He does? Yes. He's not the maintenance man. He's a businessman, but not the maintenance man. Not the handyman. Because when I do need to be maintenance, he can handle that.
I want handy maintenance. Because here's the thing. I intimidate men in business. I realize that about myself. Even when I try to like come in the room and be quiet, it doesn't work, because a lot of businessmen is like a lot of businessmen. I sit there, and when I really listen, and their money is up, and I'm really listening, I'm like, you're not smart. Like, it's something I don't know how did this happen. So maybe I'm not in the room with the right people. So I want a handy man, like just fix the house. And I'll cook the food. I'm just trying to figure out how do you get there? How do you fix the house? Just fix the house. There's a lot of stuff going on. Like, and I always have to figure it out. I'm really got to go home and figure out what the hell's wrong with my AC. And then when I can't figure it out myself, because the AC is hard, right? The first thing I'm going to check and make sure the little power didn't go out. Then I have to call somebody. And I know I'm coming out of pocket $1,500. I already know this. So I'm like mentally preparing myself for this like $1,500 hit when I call someone to fix it. But if I had like a man that really could at least look at the air conditioning.
I just need to understand, what type of crazy are you?
Oh, wait.
What type of crazy?
That I can't get a man?
What type of crazy? So there's different pockets of crazy. Right?
I'm very not crazy. I'm very woosah.
You're very woosah.
First of all, I don't even call people like that. Like,
that's crazy. Why won't you call them?
Because you gotta call me. Like, you gotta call me until I feel comfortable enough to call you. Until I feel like.
So Kim, I like to be pursued. Like him,
I have to be pursued.
Why can't you call him?
If I will call occasionally, but I need to be pursued. I'm not gonna be bringing your phone. I'm the girl. I'm the girl. So you call me. Don't have, like, why are you waiting? I seen a post that says something like that too. It was like, you know, men. Wait, it said. I love this post so much. It said, men who wait for the girl to call first, what kind of lip gloss y'all like? Because it's true. A lot of these men are real sassy. Like, you were like, I'm not calling her. Wait for her to call me. Like, come on. I don't want no sassiness like that. You don't want to call me? Or you want me to call? I'm not doing that. And ladies, stop doing that. Because you are creating this culture. Like, you can call them once you're in an established relationship, and but
what if you just really want to talk to him? Why can't
that's
you
fine.
pick up the phone and call
you
him?
can call if you really want to talk to him. That's fine. But for every every time I call you, you gotta call me 3 times after that. I called him on Monday. He gotta call me now. He gotta call me 3 times. Yes, I'm not playing those games, because you'll never be able to say You'll never be able to say that I was like, you know, pursuing you hard. I can be hurt. but I'm going to sit in my feelings. I'm not ever doing that again. I lost my dignity with my divorce because I didn't want to get divorced. Never doing that again. So if you're off me, I'm off you. Point blank, period.
Oh.
And so that's crazy to you? That's crazy?
I think I just need more details, because I understand when you say you lost your dignity because you never wanted to get a divorce.
Right.
I get that part. So
the minute you told me you didn't want to be with me, I should have been like, oh, I won't be with you. But I didn't have that strength back then, right? It was, this is our marriage. Oh, please, we need a family. Now, you got one time to be like, I don't like her like that, or I don't like you, or I'm not. Oh, okay.
So but that's okay. What you're saying is you're not losing yourself in another relationship. You're not begging someone to be with you because you have confidence and self-love.
Yes, but I'm still working on all of that. I'm still a work in progress, I think, as a woman. And so I'm just saying, for me, in the immediate time, right? And it's funny that we're talking about crazy, because a lot of women get called crazy in a lot of situations. I'm not crazy. You're driving me crazy. And there's a difference between crazy and driving me crazy. Some men like to make women feel like they're crazy. Man, she crazy. Oh, really? What defines that woman's crazy? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's one thing if she just crazy, and I do know those stories. But if you continue to do things to like I like, you know, when they lying or fronting, or, you know what I'm saying? But if you continue to do that, just be open and honest about the situation. And a lot of men don't do that.
Because they really don't believe.
Insecurities too.
Well, no, they really don't believe that telling the truth is better. I don't get it.
I get it. Sometimes I get it. Sometimes I get it. If you have to tell a little white lie to protect someone's feelings, that's different. If you're protecting that woman's feelings, I can excuse the lie, right? I can excuse a little bit of a lie. I'm going to give you an example. right?
Give me an example.
A man or woman walking down the street, and he sees somebody he used to be with or he's feeling or whatever, and a woman is like, do you like her? Like, maybe he's attracted to her, right? Do you like her? What would be the point in saying, yeah, she look good? What would be the point in that for a man with a woman? To tell a little white lie. No, baby. Think about her. Why would I be thinking about her when I have you? That's a little white lie I can excuse. So a little white lie, right? A little white lie.
But a white lie turns into a big lie, and then a big lie turns into unforgiveness.
No, there's big lies and then there's little white lies, right? Like I was talking to a friend of mine today about cheating.
Oh, God.
And that friend has never cheated on his wife.
At all? Never in life?
Never cheated on his wife. But you know, like when you start to really understand people and you start to understand...
Never? How long they been married?
I'm not sure how long they've been married, but he's never cheated. But he talked to me about a situation where maybe there was like the temptation, right? Mm-hmm. Ultimately, I think the ideal man, right, is gonna not, you know, like the decision he made was to not engage. Mm-hmm. I said, when I was married, that, like, for me, cheating is like, oh my God, cheating, oh. Now I can understand cheating a little bit. Mm-hmm. Right? So I said, if you're going to step out, and I'm not condoning stepping out. I don't like that. I would like you to just be honest. I never want anyone to cheat on me. But let's just say for my male friends that I'm not involved in, right? Like, if you're going to step out, you got to be real careful about who you step out with. And you have to make sure that that person has enough care and respect for you and your family to, and that's really rare, to not violate that. So that when you decide it's over, then it's over. A lot of times it doesn't happen that way, right? It's cheating, but then when the person that you're cheating with wants to take it a step further, right? Wants more. That's when it becomes an issue. I'm not giving advice for men to step out. I'm saying, if you're going to do it, because a lot of them do it. Let's just be real. A lot of them do it. If you're going to do it, stop being so careless with the women that you choose to do it with. A lot of times they're doing it with women who really want to destroy your family. And at the end of the day, I'm all about protecting the kids and the kids first, right? So like, if that person that you're dealing with doesn't care enough about your kids to respect certain boundaries, then don't even do it. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but I totally disagree with you.
You disagree on
Everything.
Which part?
Every aspect
TT, I don't want nobody to cheat on me, right? Like, I don't want that. But
I think men,
if you're gonna do it,
you gotta choose her wisely. I personally feel like men who cheat have something that triggers that trauma in them, that they're so insecure that they need validation from other women in that moment.
Yes.
And that feeds into their ego. Because I do know some men who have cheated and cheated multiple times on their wife, but ultimately realized that the problem or the validation they're looking for is because deep down something is broken.
right?
I
agree with this.
That needs to be fixed.
I agree with this.
And as long as there's a willing participant, meaning the other woman, they will manipulate and do whatever they need to do to fuck you.
Right.
And whatever you giving them in that moment, they're using you.
Right.
And some women stay the side piece because they like the benefits, or they feel one day he's going to choose me. And when that day doesn't come, you've wasted all of your time and you mismanaged your pussy in a big way.
Ooh.
You know, but I do think there can be redemption after a person has cheated.
Yes,
but
I agree.
But they have to really work on the broken part of them.
I agree. And I do, what you said about the broken part, I do agree with that. That a lot of men who do it, they're looking for the validation, right? I 100% agree. I have the same feeling about men who, you know, troll in a certain way on social media, right?
Yeah,
like we had this conversation about the like.
But we're going to pin that, because if we go down that rabbit hole, we're not going to get to our other topics.
Okay, let's pin it.
Let's pin that.
Let's pin it. Nothing else that needs to be sent. It's a special relationship episode.
It's a special relationship episode.
Well, I think we got here by saying that I needed help in my house with some repairs. So I still need help. But we were talking, the way we got to the maintenance man and the handyman was that we were talking about people who used to be in the industry, used to be artists and have regular jobs. You brought up Mark Carey. And remember when, because of his, job, I guess it came out on social media. Remember when I told you I had read that book cover to cover when the Diddy case first
came out.
And that's how we got in the chairs to have conversations and dialogue about these topics, because we were so passionate about what had happened between Diddy and Cassie.
What was the most disturbing part for you as you read that Don Richard?
That case and the accusations in that case, or allegations, was worse than the Cassie case. That was the first time that I've read, and correct me if you know otherwise, that someone say he tried to traffic them. for me, it's a little different because I feel like desensitized to all the things that she said he did, right? Like he did this was violent, this is how he behaves in the office, this is what he did at the parties, like when they talk about the parties. But the thing that bothered me the most is the enabling of it. And I think seeing...
From other people?
Yes, just for me, because I'm reading it, I'm like, okay, we can all be shocked when we get the case and we read through all these points. But when you get to some of them and you start to see other people's names, when you get down to it and you really read and you see like he did this, and it'll say something like she put Jimmy Iovine in there. Like basically saying he saw something, like he saw this whole thing, right? Not everything that she was saying against Diddy, but certain things in that case. She was like, he was here. This happened in front of him. I mean, that to me is disturbing because it's basically saying, yeah, this was happening, but all of y'all knew. All these people and people in high profile positions that are actually funding the labels and the, where the money is coming from, they're just okay. That was the most disturbing thing in that lawsuit to me. I'm like, okay. Because I think we all know that people knew.
I also
what
think
he was doing. At least some people knew, right? Like there are people that worked with him and say, I never saw that behavior, and I believe that. But there are people who were there and saw it and okayed it and gave more money to it, maybe. That was disturbing. That was disturbing to me.
Because of how much money he was able to make them. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've shared my experience with Puff. I've never seen him in that light, and I've always, and I've been around him. Let me just say multiple times.
Right.
In closed studio sessions, at big events, at his house for New Year's Eve parties. I've never seen that side of him. He has always been so nice and so respectful to me.
Right.
But I also understand that I wasn't in that type of relationship with him.
Right.
To have to experience that level of domestic violence and the things that these women have accused him of. I think it makes me sad when I think about, his legacy and what he's brought to the culture. Mm-hmm. It makes me so sad because it's like, I just wish that his close circle of friends would have gotten him or encouraged him to get the help that he needed in those moments to be a better person, a better man. Because when I read these things, I'm just like, wow, like I think you can, it's just like you can mourn for his legacy while holding him accountable.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because
he's
given so much to culture. And I just feel bad for these women who had to experience this level of trauma.
It's horrible.
It's horrible. And I wouldn't want that for anyone. If I had a daughter, I wouldn't want that for her, my sisters, etc. And, I think I've gotten to the point of just not reading it anymore because it really does make me sad.
Right.
And if I ever got a chance to see him again, I will ask him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I will ask him if, we ever had a chance to talk, why?
Right.
Why? Why didn't you stop? At some point, you have to stop the behaviors.
Oh, gosh.
Because the only way to change the law of karma and the only way to say I'm sorry is by changed behavior. Mm-hmm. Not through your words. Not it shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's about owning who you are in that moment and changing the behaviors. And so many people benefited off the success of P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs Enterprise, whatever, that they didn't step in because they were all benefiting from the success that he had. You know, when I watched Caresha Please, when she was doing the interview. I don't think
we spoke about that.
No, when she was doing an interview with Saucy, yep. And she said, you know, I was with Puff when the world was celebrating him.
Right.
I didn't experience whatever, you know. And she's a young girl. She's young.
She is young.
She's a young girl, and she was dating a 53-year-old man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how much manipulation could have been in that relationship?
Well, that, you know,
but I don't know because I don't know because I wasn't there.
Room. Right. I watched the interview, and you know, to me, again, right, like, because that could be her truth, that she didn't see that side. I don't know. They were together. Who knows? But you said a 53-year-old man with a young woman, and there's a lot of grooming that happens in this industry. Not just men with dating women, but even some men who are grooming the younger male artists. I don't mean sexually, but I know those accusations are there as well. But you know, like when you see the older artists like yoking up the younger artists, like, yeah, he with me. It's like, relax. But it's because they want to control. It's a control thing. They're trying to control the audience, the industry. Like, I want to make sure I'm the person that he looks up to and that he says is his inspiration. Like, I see a lot of that in the game. Like, I watch that, and I see a lot of, you know, older artists who, they just a little too, I guess the word is like, they trying to groom, like, these younger artists.
I don't know if I'm following you there, because, like,
there's a difference between influencing and grooming.
Yeah, so that's what helped me understand what you're trying to say.
There's a difference between influencing and grooming, right?
Because I think that the older generation of artists should be taking the younger generation under their wing.
100%.
And mentoring them and showing them the way and showing them right from wrong.
Right.
So, you know, I don't understand that when you say grooming, to what degree and who you're referring to.
Right. I mean, I think we should table that, and so I can bring some examples.
Okay.
Because when I see it, I'm usually disgusted by it. But I'm also inspired when I see older artists, you know, kind of like reaching out, helping, guiding younger artists through their career. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. I see a lot of opportunist older artists, right, who will see a younger artist coming up and make that, like, you about to be over here. Let me control you. And I think I can mirror that to the dating scene, right? When a Diddy, look, we're talking about Diddy. I know when I see a Diddy, you know, dating a Caresha, and I've had these conversations with people are like, oh, you know, you love who you love, you're attracted. To me, that's too much of an age gap. I just feel that way. Women, there are older women who are dating younger men, right? But I'm the mother of daughters and a son. So I don't want my son coming out, you know, at 21 years old with a 53-year-old woman. I'm going to be like, what the hell is she trying to do to my son?
Absolutely.
You know?
I would feel that way too.
I have, you know, those feelings on both sides, right? Like, whether it's male or female. What do you have in common with a 20-something-year-old woman if you're 53 with kids that same age? And that what, your kids can't bring their friends around? I don't know. I think it's crazy. That's my definition of crazy, right there. Like, whether you're male or female, what are you doing with a child that could be your, you know?
See,
and look, the maturity levels. Right, like, yeah, sometimes, you know, I've seen relationships of, like, women who've dated men 15 years younger. He's mature. Like, you know, I don't want to make it seem like I'm always just against this, like, age gap. I'm not. But in that situation, especially someone who's so seasoned in their career, right? And then a young artist like her, she's so young and impressionable. That, to me, like, where's the compatibility there?
And she hadn't had a level of success that makes you feel like she's in your inner circle because she's had that same level of success as you.
Right.
So that's why when watching that interview, I kind of was like, yeah, but what was the real nature of this situation? Like, y'all could have just really fucked with each other and been on that type of vibe. I get it, but it was like you weren't as accomplished as, it wasn't a regal relationship where, you know, you look at her and say, okay, she came in the game, she was successful, she understood his plight to success,
right.
et cetera, et cetera. So that's why, you know.
Well, it's very much giving sugar daddy, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't want to say, but it's very much giving sugar daddy.
Right.
You know, so, and that's, I don't want to slight her. Like, I think what we were saying is like, she's young. Like, she's super young.
I would have loved
super young.
I would love to one day have that conversation with her. You know, I think that interview with Saucy Santana, it's her best friend.
Yeah, like I think when all the clips came out, the internet was like, come on now.
Yeah.
We're not really going to get the real.
I just want to know, like, really?
Very produced, you know?
Yeah.
And it's cute and entertaining, and I watched it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's not what we wanted to know, for real. Especially in light of all of the lawsuits and things that were happening, and she hadn't said nothing. Remember, they were supposed to have a reality show.
Yeah.
She had a reality show. They were filming. Production was going.
And Puff was in it?
I don't think he was in it, but I think he was referencing it. But where's the show?
I know their family had a reality show.
Where's the show? He had a show too.
His family
Where's
had
the
a show. Because I did, I want to say, an episode with the son for, I'm not sure.
I knew the showrunner. The showrunner was working on the show. The show was staffed up.
Yeah, I don't remember if
his show was staffed.
Yeah.
Caresha, her show was staffed, right? Through the production. Like, people were working on those shows. What happened to the show?
They can't release that. Come on.
No, they're not going to. But nobody, they got a press release for everything. When they got a show, when they signing a deal, whatever. Where the press release at?
They're not.
What happened to the show?
They're not putting that show out.
I know they're not putting that show out. They can't.
Too much lawsuits. Too much.
They can't. It would be crazy because now you know what. And if it's reality, now you really know what you're watching is not real. You know. So I mean, maybe they will put it out.
No, they're not putting it out.
I don't think so.
I do want to talk about Dame Dash.
Oh my God. First of all, I love Dame. So I love Dame. That was the best thing I ever seen on the internet. When them teeth came out, Dame.
That made me sad.
Why? Damon is funny. Like,
I just feel like I don't want to see
funny.
my icons like that. Like, you know, I mean,
why? You know how many people got fake teeth?
And then he popped them out.
That was wonderful.
Like,
no, that was. I love Dame. Dame know I love him. And I was ready for it. I
don't want to see my icons like that.
Listen, they said, someone said, is this the definition of, they oh my God, the comments were insane. The comments was insane. But I think that, I forgot what they said, that made me laugh. But
I don't want to see my icons like that.
Like what? I done seen people without teeth in their mouth. My friends, my family. Like, I seen teeth come out. My father, growing up, had no teeth in his mouth. He got all his teeth knocked out of his mouth in an accident in a truck. So for my entire life, my father used to go and take his teeth out of his mouth. And he just got a new set of teeth, like, within the last 10 years.
Doesn't mean I want to see that. Keep that behind.
It's real. It's real. He didn't mean for the teeth to fall out. But look, him and 50, that was very entertaining because I think, you know, 50's a troll. 50's a troll. Don't no one want a problem with him, so nobody ever says anything to him. I have seen people say, I'm not talking about 50. I'm not covering that. People are scared because they know what he does on social is all day and it doesn't stop. And it's very mean-spirited. A lot of what he does is very mean-spirited, right? So to see someone like a Dame that I know got it for 50, like they could go toe to toe in terms of trolling and making fun of each other and saying things, right? And you know, it started with the comment that 50 made about Dame, you know, being broke. He called him broke, right? So Dame's just responding. If you notice, 50 said that, Dame responded. If 50 took a while, wasn't until them teeth came out, 50 knew I gotta say something now. Now I have to address this, because if I don't troll him for the teeth falling out of his mouth on a live, I'm gonna look like I'm not acknowledging him for a reason, because he'll acknowledge whoever. You know, 50 got a problem with you, he'll talk about somebody you never even heard of and go at them, right? He was not responding to Dame when Dame was saying what he was saying. Dame was saying, you know, you calling me broke, I got my own network, right? And listen, we know he has money issues. We know there was whatever with the tax and the auction. We know all of that. But I think he's living fine, right? All of them dudes have money problems. That's the real of it. That's what people don't want to talk about, because they flashing their money and, oh, I'm on tour. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter.
So are you saying 50 has money problems?
I don't know what he got. I don't think he has problems like that, but I also have never believed what I have seen on social when it came to who got what, right? So like, I know we're in the era of just posturing. So to call Damon broke, I think was like, oh, I'm broke? Okay, but I got a TV network. So do you. You know, what you got on your network? And 50 didn't have anything up there on the network that he launched. So I think Dame had every right to say, I'm broke, let's go toe to toe. But 50 didn't acknowledge him till them teeth came out. He didn't say anything to the teeth fell out. And all of a sudden, now he had to say anything, because the internet was waiting. Everybody was like, come on, when is Fifth going to kill him? You know, everyone's like, oh, come on, Fifth, troll, please. Like, you know, the thirsty internet trolls, like, waiting. But he hadn't said anything. And he still never really addressed what Dame was saying. If you really look at it, he said, this is all the content I got on my TV network. Where's your content? And a lot of people are like, oh, you know, he has tons of content. And he does. 50 has done amazing things in television, right? But Damon's point was that you don't own any of it. That was his point. And no one really...
But is that
no
true?
One...
50 doesn't
We don't own any of... People do not own content like that. I don't know what his deal is. I don't know what his deal is, you know.
But
that's what Damon Dash said.
But you can't deny that what 50 is doing.
I wouldn't deny what he's doing. He did great things in television.
Louisiana.
He's done great things in television. And he's building that studio. That's great. It's not there yet, but he's building it. We saw the renders, right, in Shreveport. But there were the conversations that even Hurricane Chris, right, that rapper, that's the name, Hurricane Chris?
Yeah.
He said about 50, right? Like, so there's been, you know, 50's taking a lot of
please everybody, like Hurricane Chris, and I felt like all of that was just noise. Like, you can't please everybody.
You can't please everyone, but I think my point is more about the optics, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone believes what they see, especially if someone says it and they put it on social. Going back to Dame, he was like, this is my content and I can put it on my network. And I'm not saying that 50 can't. He just didn't. Mm-hmm. So maybe he will. We're just waiting for it. Mm-hmm. We never went back to the original argument that they were having back and forth, or the original quote-unquote beef battle that Dame was asking him for. Let's go toe-to-toe about the content on my network. This is my network. And he went through his TV and he was saying, like, I got this show, that show, this movie. Where's your content? His point was, like, if you have so much content, like being like that 50 is like this, you know, major executive producer on these television shows that are hit shows. Why can't you put that content on your channel? Mm-hmm. That's what he was saying. Mm-hmm. Because that would be the network that he owned. And maybe he will, right? Maybe it takes a certain amount of time before you can get the rights back. I don't know what his contracts say. But that was the argument that they were having. And when you think about it, we're in the era of people starting their own networks. You see what Ray J's doing? Mm-hmm. Subscriber-based platform. You saw what Zeus has done, subscriber-based platforms. That's why TV is suffering. No one's watching regular TV no more. You look at what Tubi has done, right? Like, people are creating their own networks and platform. And all platforms, all Dame was saying was, I got mine, where's yours? Oh, there's yours. But they no shows up here. That's what he was saying. And then he was saying it too damn much because his teeth fell out. His teeth fell out while he was saying it. But it was great, like, because you knew the virality of that was going to go crazy. As soon as they came out, the internet was like snapshot, like you saw the snapshot with like the But he laughed at it. So that's why I'm saying, like, he took a L. He knew he took a L. But he laughed at it. It's real, TT. Look at everybody that has big old teeth in their mouth. What's those called?
Veneers.
The veneers. I can't believe I forgot that.
I just don't want to see
veneers that don't fit.
I just don't want to see my icon on the internet with his teeth falling out.
So many of our icons have fake teeth in their mouth right now.
I know. I'm just
veneers,
saying, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
We see everything else on the internet.
I just want artists to get back to leaving something for the imagination. Can we please?
You didn't want to know his
teeth.
He had a whole story though. He had a whole story.
Back
his teeth
to
fell out.
Leaving something
I'm
to
waiting
the
for
imagination.
The implant. So speaking of our icons, did you watch LL on the VMAs?
I was at the VMAs.
Oh, fancy.
I was at the VMAs.
Fancy. I waited for LL Cool J to perform. And shout out to Bless, who did the jewelry.
Yes, shout out to Bless. We actually film our podcast. Our set is in his store.
Now they're coming for us.
In Manhattan. I don't want to tell people the location.
Please don't. Don't come see us here.
Because I don't want them pulling up on us.
But they could pull up on Bless and get their jewelry.
Yes.
Shiny, sparkly.
Yes.
Get it clean.
LL look good.
Buy some. LL looked great.
Yeah.
The jewelry looked great.
Yeah.
But he looks good, and I liked what he did. Like, I like that he incorporated the new album with some of the old cuts, because I really want to see that.
The new album is pretty good.
Yeah, Q-Tip produced it.
Yeah, it's a pretty good
so
album.
you knew the production was going to be on point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love LL, but nothing beats, no rapper can rap quite like I can. I love that song. I love vintage LL.
Mm-hmm. He looks good. How old is LL?
He got to be close to 60. 57, I'm going to guess.
His body
58.
still looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
look, Big Daddy Kane looked great when I saw him perform.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, some of our icons are keeping up with their health and making,
Shout out to LL because he actually does a lot for the pioneers of hip hop
with Rock the Bells.
What he does with Rock the Bells. He created Rock the Bells Radio on Sirius XM to give a lot of our pioneers jobs. Like Mr. C was overseeing all the mix show over there.
But that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Roxanne Shante has a show there. He did the Rock the Bells tour to give these guys opportunity to be able.
They got a cruise coming up.
Get out there. They got a cruise. Yes.
Damn, the cruise sold out. That's the cruise I need to be on, the Rock the Bells cruise.
Maybe you'll find your maintenance man and handyman there.
I knew she was going to do that. She said my maintenance handyman is on the Rock the Bells cruise.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, he's someone that really takes care of the pioneers.
Absolutely.
So we got to give LL his flowers.
Definitely.
He's amazing. I had a chance to see him too. Actually, sit down with him at the BET Awards.
Nice. I saw him at the BET Awards as well.
Yeah. He's always a great conversation.
Yes.
I love interviewing him. Hopefully, when he comes back to the East Coast, I'll get a chance to sit down with him for a part 2 of our interview because there's a lot I do want to ask him. But he looked good. I mean, who else did I see there? Megan looked good.
She, first of all, I think she looks great. Like the slimmer Megan, I love her look. Everybody calls her Ozempic Megan, but I love how she looks.
Is she really on Ozempic?
I have no idea, but that's what people are saying. But I'm like, I think it looks great. I
want to try Ozempic.
I have tried it.
Does it work?
Yeah, absolutely works.
I want to do it.
I did it last year. I lost like...
Why are you laughing? I want to get a breast lift and I want to do Ozempic.
Listen, I lost like 20 on Ozempic, but the thing is I didn't do it too long because like everything...
Did you gain it back? Because Oprah said you gained the weight back. You got to stay on it.
Absolutely. I gained it back. I don't want to stay on anything that long. So the lesson that I learned was, what the hell you going to do it if you're not going to, when you come off of it?
I just don't like when the girls lose so much weight that they look so old in the face. Like when I see these younger girls on it.
Yeah.
And they lose like and a lot of weight. They start to have that
because Ozempic
sunken face and the Ozempic like, butt. You know the Ozempic butt, right?
Yes, starts just flatten. Like flatten. It's just sag. See, I'll do anything to lose weight, right? Like I'll be like, okay, I'll do that program or whatever. And once I lose that 20, I'm like, oh, I'm good. So I basically did it for a month and lost 20 pounds, and then was like, oh, I ain't got to do this no more. And then it slowly starts creeping back up on you.
Well, Oprah did a whole study. I watched it. And she said that, you have to, doctors on the show did say you have to stay on it because it triggers the part of the brain where you don't have that desire to eat it. Yeah. To eat it. And I'm someone that struggles with yo-yoing up and down.
That's me.
And so I definitely feel like I need the prescription. All day. Because now I'm at my slim side, but I know... because I love to eat, I have like this food thing.
Right.
That I need something to help with that. But I do want to do it. I want to lose like maybe 10, 15 pounds. I want to push these babies up.
So you say you want to get a breast?
Yes. I want to reduce them and I want to lift them. Yes.
You want to reduce your breast size?
Yes. And I want them lifted. Yes.
What cup size
because I'm a triple D. I'm a 34 triple D. And my man is like, oh, there's nothing wrong with them. I love them. I'm like, no. Because what happened was I breastfed my son until he was 13 months. Mm-hmm. And the density, starts to like drop.
Yep.
And it's like because I lost weight, gained weight, the breasts.
I have something for you.
What is it? A magic bra?
We always say that this is a podcast. This is for women. So, did you know that the more you wear your bra, the more your breasts sag?
I didn't
know
you
are supposed to let the boobies be free. I don't do it enough, but naturally, and if you think about it, right? Just think common sense wise, like something we don't think about because we always want to look, whatever. Our breasts were sort of like made to hang. And they're supposed to hang, and I think it's something about like the elasticity of your breast. If you keep using the bra, it makes it'll drop more. You're supposed to let them be free. Google it. Google it, ladies.
So
Google it. That's what I have for you, advice. So walk around your house
with no
bra all the time.
These things gotta go. I need some new titties, like tomorrow.
But you gotta do that. You gotta walk around the house with no bra.
First, I need some new titties, like tomorrow.
So you wanna?
Oh, I'm getting them done. My man is like, no. I'm like, yes. I'm just.
My friend had a breast reduction,
and they're just gonna be done.
She had back issues, so she had a breast reduction. But they have to move your nipple.
I don't care about that.
You don't?
Nope. I'm not afraid of no
surgery. Leave my
surgery.
nipple right where it is. So you would let them move your nipple?
I would. I want them to lift this thing, and I want them to get that fat from right here. You know that little fat that holds there? I want that gown. I want a gown.
Okay.
And I want to take these things, and I want to reduce them. I may get a C cup. I want to unbig my back. And I feel like breast
big your back?
Bigs your back.
Yeah.
So I want to unbig my back.
Okay. Tell me how it goes.
So
I've never gotten any surgery, and I'm like, and I've had a consult for one or two things just because I wanted to know.
Yeah.
But I just.
Yeah, so if any
scary
breast doctors watching the show.
She wants to unbig her back.
I need some new titties to unbig my back.
But that's not new titties. See, you're saying you need new. That's not getting new titties.
But I want it to stay.
That's just getting
No.
reconstructive surgery.
I want them lifted, but I want.
You want your same titty.
No, I want
you don't
my
want
same
an actual
titties,
implant.
but I want to put something in there to keep them lifted.
You do want to put something in there.
Yeah, like to keep them sitting. There's a lot of women I know that get a lift and they drop in 2 years. No, I need these things sitting up, like
you want them sitting up
to my like neck. Like,
wow.
Look at these things.
You could just hold your hands up and then they. Okay.
Well, not with this fucked up shoulder. I can't. I just want these
just
things.
Just hold your hands
like,
up.
I want to be able to go. Look at these.
You're just gonna have to
look at these.
All right, we're getting too personal. I'm getting too personal. This is for women. Women wear less bras.
On that note, we gotta go.
Yes, it's time to wrap it up.
Make sure you guys subscribe to our channel.
That's right. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. My YouTube channel is Kim Osorio Media, so make sure you like, subscribe, comment, do all of that. Get it up, get it up.
And I am TT Torrez, 3 T's, ORREZ. Like, subscribe, and of course you can check us wherever you get your podcasting.
Yes.
All right?
3 T's for the 2 titties.
For the 2 titties, please. Give me some new titties on this bitty.
Yo, it's crazy that you're 3 T's with the new titties. See y'all.